Yeah, let me share my screen. So I wanted to look at this for a while actually. I saw this story, Opetaia's IBF title in doubt after winning Zuffa belt, and I just wanted to look a bit more into it. So we'll just go for it. So this obviously things might have changed because I'm reporting on this now on the 14th of March 2026. But as of the 9th of March 2026, the BBC were reporting that Jai Opetaia, who's on the left here, he beat Hussein Sakara in December to retain his IBF and Ring Cruiserweight titles. However, the bout he'd won by a unanimous decision at the Met Apex in Las Vegas on Sunday, so that's recently with all three judges scoring fight 119-106. However, the bite, and this was against Brandon Gladton. However, the bout had not been sanctioned by the IBF, and Opetaia might now lose his world title. And the IBF had initially approved the fight after Optaia's team had told them it would not be a unification bout and that any Zuffa belt awarded would be characterized. Let me bring up Optaia actually, so we can learn a bit more about him and his career and his records. Any Zuffa belt would be characterized as a trophy or token. It would not be unification bout. Any Zuffa belt would be characterized as a trophy or token of recognition. That's what IBF thought was going to happen. But following the news conference on Friday, I don't know how to cut and paste. The IBF said it was made clear that Zuffa World Cruiserweight title would still be contested, and the governing body, which does not recognise Zuffa boxing as a sanctioning body, withdrew its sanction. So initially it was sanctioned, and then it was not. It was not sanctioned because it seems the IBF isn't willing to mix up its title, its sanctioning with Zuffa boxing, and obviously Zuffa boxing are new on the horizon, and I get it. They don't want the IBF belt to come into any sort of controversy. They want it to have its superior place, so to speak. So if you start mixing it up with other belts that are not like your WBA, IBO, or WBO, then it might cause confusion, or it's not giving it as much credibility. I think that's along the lines they're going down. But Jai Tapu Optai is 30 years old, 6'2", cruiserweight heavyweight. That's five. He's a southpaw. He's got total fights 30 wins, 30 wins by KO. So he's not lost. Basically, he's not lost. And win World Junior Championships, World Youth Championships in 2011 and 2012, gold at the Astana and a bronze at the Yerevan. So yeah, they withdrew the sanctioning. If they said the IBF added, if a champion participates in an unsanctioned contest within his prescribed weight limit, the title will be declared vacant whether the champion wins or loses the belt. So his belt's at risk. That's quite serious, actually. Optai, who signed with Zuffa Boxing in January with the goal to become undisputed at cruiserweight, won every round in his first fight in the United States. I know there's been a lot of white noise, a lot of stuff on social media, but I'm hoping it gets worked out and we can still chase that goal title on ESPN. I've not lost track. So Zuffa Boxing, yeah, as you know, I've covered it on the channel, is backed by Dana White. Wow, I wonder what's going to happen. So White's ultimate aim is to sideline the four traditional sanctioning bodies, WBO, WBC, IBF, and WBA, and make Zuffa's belt the premier world title alongside the Ring Machine title and an organization owned by Saudi boxing power broker Turkey Al Sheikh. Wow, what a life! So that's what's going on at the moment. You've got a situation where it's a battle of the belts, really, isn't it? This is really a battle of the belts. His belt is at risk. Jay Optai, you can see him here, 30-0. That's good. Good record. Let's go back. I just wanted to look at what if there's any comments on that and Zuffa, because this is quite a serious matter. Whether there's any new developments, let's take a look. Optai Zuffa champion belt. So it's already a trending topic. So new ring belt. they don't see the sacrifice we've got to make for this. What is next for Jay Opetaia? And you can see that some of the belts there includes weight class, name and country flag, Zuffa. Jay last IBF title ultimatum rumor after ahead of Zuffa boxing. So this is a bit on it.
That is a fool made up.
All right, forget the music. Jay last IBF title. But denied reports that Sanction Body have given an ultimatum over his £200 title ahead of his Zuffa boxing debut. Oh my word! And then he was asked about it here.
Things are just material, you know.
They sit, yeah, okay.
They sit in my house and collect dust. They sit on the wardrobes and stuff. So
he's saying that he wants to be a world champion.
It's more being a Zuffa champion, being a world champion, having your last name up there. That's what I chase. Like, these things are just material, you know.
Okay, so he's kind of taking the middle ground there with that.
Cruiserweight world champion, and now
there you go. So he's still cruiserweight world champion.
The inaugural Zuffa boxing.
So after all of that, they still wrapped the belt around him, regardless of whether there were any ultimatums or not. So you see the other belts there, and then you see the Zuffa belt that's been wrapped. Do you know what? In 10 years, in 20 years, all this stuff about, I mean, if Zuffa's either going to rise high or it's not. One of those things will happen. And it might be that there's a lot of kerfuffle about it at the moment, but when things actually move on, it might be a new generation of belts. That may well happen. I don't know. I know the other boxing organisations, well, they're obviously going to fight against it due to their pedigree and long history. But ultimately, what can you do when a new competitor comes along? Let's see what.
For the people who haven't seen the Clapback Thursday, can you summarize it for everybody?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, there we go. So this is a bit more updated. This is 1 day ago. Oscar De La Hoya says he feels bad for Jai Opetaia. He was tricked into fighting for just his Zuffa belt, which means nothing. Then takes. I'm not involved in the rest of that.
Basically, the Clapback Thursday is really feeling bad for Jai Opetaia. You know, Jai Opetaia was tricked into unifying his belts, and at the end of the day, he's fighting for the Zuffa belt, which means nothing. It's
okay. Oscar De La Hoya is not a fan of Zuffa. Let's be clear. I mean, that's very clear.
Like I said on my Clapback, it's like my hemorrhoid that I have right now, which I have to.
A bit cheeky, a bit of rude talking about hemorrhoids and that. I'm not I'm not gonna go that far. That is definitely not a real picture, I don't think. But yeah, this is the Zuffa belt with Turka Al Sheikh and Dana. Some people are laughing in the comments. Yeah, everybody's got different views on this. Do let me know what your views on this are. But we're gonna see this kind of back and forth, to-ing and fro-ing in relation to these belts as time goes on. Let's hear what Dana says.
And slap and boxing and any combat sport that I'm involved in, I'm always looking for the best.
So he's looking for the best. I mean, yeah, I hear it. And obviously, Jay Opetaia is a good fighter, great fighter.
Who is the best in the world, or who is perceived as the best in the world? And you know, I want to see these guys compete. So
that's so he's kind of stating what the intention of Zuffa is, really. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm gonna see if I can get a few more comments on this situation, and if not, we're gonna draw the video to a line. But I mean, it's a lot, really. It's a lot. What does he say here?
Jai wanted to do this. He paid his sanction. He paid his fee. Their boy flew over here and got his per diem, and then jumped back on a.
So he paid his fee. Okay, so Dana White hints at suing the IBF over stripping Opetaia. Jay paid his fee. The IBF boy flew over here and got his per diem and jumped back on the F plane and flew back. We did everything you're supposed to do. So they paid the sanctioning fees.
We did everything that you're supposed to do. So we'll see how it plays out. It'll be on a case by case basis. You know, saying they were.
Somebody's made an interesting point there. Dog, I'm so lost. Wasn't the point of Zuffa belt so it'd be one champ per division? So they basically just added another belt. And then what's the reply to this? Yeah, for now, but it's a step in the right direction. Could be the best sign. Let's see what you're saying. Not true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an additional belt as it stands at the moment, because I don't think the boxers at the moment are going to give up being able to fight for the WBA, the WBO, IBF, IBO. However, somebody said they might, in I think it was in the WWF, that they did this thing where if somebody wins all the belts and then you just burn the other belts or something along those lines. That is something that's possible. That could happen.
Disrespected at the press conference. The belt was in front of him the entire time, and he held it in his hand when he did the face-off. The Zuffa belt was in the middle because nobody had it. He had the other two belts, and they were...
Okay. Anyway, do you know what? I'm going to wind it up there. Big up all the watchers, listeners, and subscribers. Let me know what you think about this. I mean, I think this was the inaugural Zuffa Belt Championship fight, and it caused a bit of chaos, and I don't think, I'm not quite sure that Jai Opetaia is going to be able to hold on to his IBF two-time cruiserweight, because obviously you have to have the sanction for it to be in place, and I think they might have withdrew the sanction because of, and when I say sanction, not in a negative way, it's having some fight actually sanctioned to go ahead. It's not, but the point is, I think what is suggested that the IBF are saying is that we're not agreeing for you to do this if you're trying to do it alongside the Zuffa belt. Basically, that's what I'm kind of understanding, in my layman's understanding. But if it's anything different, do let me know in the comments. But it's all kicking off. Zuffa belt, they're coming through, ready to take over. Seems that's what they're doing. But anyway, for now, big up all the watchers, listeners, subscribers. Please hype this video. And for now, I'm done talking.